Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are both nervous to do this video because I don't know why. It's just awkward, I guess. This is my husband, Andrew, and you guys left me a bunch of questions to ask him today. We'll kind of both talk through these questions and all right, let's get into these questions. So I did get a lot of questions, so I'm not gonna go into all of them, but we'll pick a few and answer them. How can you manage to spend time for each other while dealing with work and homeschooling? I tried to give him a little bit of a warning for what these questions would be so he could think about them. Should we start with an easier question?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Do you plan on having more kids?
No. Short answer is no. We're done.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I don't know if that's a simple one to start with. Not really.
In 10 years, I assume that we will be building a house or have just recently built a house on a good chunk of property where we'll be farming for the rest of our lives.
There
That's
you go.
my goal.
He has some pretty big plans for the next 10 years. Would love to hear about your wedding. How was our wedding? We were both so young. We were both 20. I was a month from being 21 and Andrew had been 20 for not even 3 months yet. So we were really young.
And we,
How was our wedding?
we basically didn't know what we were doing.
No, we didn't.
It went well.
Yeah, it did. It was really good. I think if we were getting married now, we would do a lot of things differently. Don't you think so?
Yes.
I feel like we're both a lot more opinionated now than we were back then. Like just both being young and leaving our parents' houses, I think it was just like, whatever, like, and now I think we're a little more set in our ways.
Yeah,
maybe?
it's amazing how much you grow up after you think you're grown up.
Yeah.
And we've
There you go.
both changed quite a bit.
But our wedding went very well,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It went really well.
The catering was done by our parents. They basically just
Yeah.
cooked up the whole meal and
Yeah.
basically so they did all the catering, which was very good. But like that was
Very
our wedding.
simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. Yeah, our colors were like chocolate brown and like an apple green kind of.
More like a
green.
mint.
Well, I thought it was mint green, but then when I ordered the swatches for our bridesmaids dresses, mint green, they were not the color we wanted. Our color was apple green. But anyway, we had like mint chocolate chip ice cream for dessert with our wedding cake, and yeah, it was really good. A lot of our family was in our wedding party, I think. Lots of friends too.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty simple. Okay, so more about how we met. Okay, there was a question here. I'd love to hear how you met and fell in love and first impressions of each other. I asked him this question this morning and he told me what his first impression was of me, so go ahead.
So, we probably met, honestly I'm not good with time, probably when you were 12?
I was 14.
14.
I was 14.
There you go, 14
We moved
at,
to the city where Andrew's family lived.
So then when they came to our church, and honestly my first impression was I couldn't tell her and her older sister apart for like the longest time, like years and years. Other than that, there was no impression at first. Then we just kind of grew up together in the same church and
Fell in love.
something like that, yeah.
Do you mind if I tell my first impression of you?
No, you can go ahead, yeah.
So my first impression of Andrew, this is very soon after we moved to this town. And you might be embarrassed if I tell you this. He's not a public speaker. He does not like speaking in public at all. Do you know what I'm going to say now?
I feel I know where you're going with this,
And
yes.
so a bunch of the kids from the youth group had just come back from a trip down to the States, and they all had to give a testimony, which is not Andrew's thing, not my thing either. But they all had to give a testimony. And the teenage boy in front of Andrew went up to the pulpit and gave this testimony, whatever, talked about how it was. And then Andrew was next, and he walked up there and said what he said and ran back to his seat.
Hey, I did have a plan, and my plan disintegrated while being up there. And then I sat in my seat and cried. That's basically what happened.
You sat in your seat and cried, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so really uncomfortable on stage. He was 13, right? You were 13 at that point, and I was 14?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
I think so. Anyway, so it took a long time. You were in grade 12 when we started liking each other. I was 1 year out of high school. So there you go. Those were our first impressions of each other. Okay, so we'll go back to the question, how can you manage to spend time for each other while dealing with work and homeschooling? That's tricky.
That is tricky.
Our kids are still going to bed fairly early, I would say, right? Like they go to bed, they're in bed by 8, like maybe 8:30. And so honestly, that gives us quite a lot of time in the evening. Like our time together is basically evenings, and I don't know. Anything else to say to that?
No, other than that, like, I mean, like, obviously dates are hard. Who wants to watch 5 kids, right? So mostly it's just evenings in. That's about it.
How do you celebrate anniversaries? What do you enjoy doing together as a couple in general? Our anniversaries have been, I don't know, nothing really fancy up to this point.
Pretty low key, yeah.
So it's usually either just like dinner out, I would say.
Yeah.
Or we'll go on a trip, and it's not usually even on our anniversary. Like, I know when I was pregnant with Wesley that year, we just went away for 2 nights, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll go away, I don't know, in the summer, just the 2 of us, and we'll call that like our anniversary trip.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty low key, pretty simple. What do we like to enjoy doing together? Sorry, were you going to say something else?
No, not really. I mean, honestly, a lot of our outings are based on how much cash flow we have, which has been fairly thin.
Yeah, that's
for most of our married life. So.
Yeah. What do we enjoy doing together? Same kind of thing, but like if we were to go on a date, what do we like to do together?
We like to spend a lot of time outside together. Walks. I don't know.
Yeah, we were working together the other day out in our backyard.
Yes.
We were doing some yard work, and we were saying this is so fun to work together. Like usually we're doing our own separate thing. Like I have some of the kids doing one thing, and then Andrew has some of the kids doing another thing. But it was fun doing that together.
We just don't get to do that very often because if we work together, then something isn't being done. So
yeah, just to get everything done for sure. There were a few questions about homeschooling, so I'm wondering what Andrew's role would be as far as homeschooling. What is your role in homeschooling?
limited, very limited.
Does he have a lot of input with homeschool?
I don't know if I have a lot of input. I mean, Julie always talks to me about everything, and we always run everything past each other and decide which route we're going to take with homeschooling. So, like, I mean, I went to a private school, but, I mean, homeschooling is just as much my desires as Julie's, but I just don't know that much about it because I went to private school, but...
Yeah. So I would say what you said, like Andrew does have a lot of input, although not so much input as like approval, I think. Basically, I run everything by him like, hey, what do you think of this? Yeah, I like that. That's good. We do talk about it, but I think usually he's just like, yeah, you choose. I trust what you choose for like curriculum and stuff like that, I would say, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
As far as the actual homeschooling, I definitely do most of it, but Andrew's definitely willing to like take over, but he'll usually take over if it's an easy thing, like, hey, can you just read this? Can you, mark this for one of the kids? Or for me just to leave Andrew alone to homeschool for the day, it's just a lot when he's not used to that pattern and that routine. Like, he'll do it, but probably half of the schoolwork would get done.
Yeah, I feel like,
would you say?
I feel when I'm left in charge, I feel like, like the supply teacher who comes in who has no idea what they're doing. That's basically me. Like, I can do any sort of just reading subjects and explaining subjects, but trying to jump in where all the kids are and everything, I'm just like a lost like a fish out of water kind of thing. So I don't do that much. Yeah, it's just kind of my thing, and I have the routine going, so Andrew will step in where needed. But definitely, I do the bulk of it. Yeah, I have no my schedule is all over the place for work, so it's not like we can schedule days where I can just do things. Yeah. So. Yeah. Now on that topic, not really on that topic actually, but there were a couple of questions. One was asking how many kids are in Andrew's family. Yeah, so there are 8 of us, including me. I'm the 3rd oldest. So there's 6 boys, including me, and then 2 girls. Yeah. With a big spread in ages. One of the questions also was, there's so many questions I could be going into here, but it was, I'm going to forget now. Oh, were our upbringings similar? Yes. I'd say very similar. They were very similar because let's be honest, middle to low income families, large families. So we both we spent
and Christian, very active in church,
very independent Christian, right? So like we spent a lot of time like doing kind of the same activities, going to church all the time. And we just, because our families were big, we didn't do a lot of extracurricular things.
Yeah.
Just a lot of time spent around home.
Very similar.
And just like crowded houses and busy tables and families and
Andrew,
that sort of thing.
can you talk about what you are teaching your children? Andrew teaches them so much. Like the numbers of times I'm like, go ask daddy, because he's so much more intelligent.
I don't teach my children anything really.
Yes, you do. You teach them so much.
But it's basically
Not
basically
school,
just
not
it's basically
school.
just I'm like an unschooling. Just whatever I'm doing is I'm always
Pretty
explaining.
much.
I'm always teaching.
And that's the stuff they remember too. Like Andrew has a lot of hobbies. So like he teaches them little things about leatherworking and little things about woodworking and so much with like baseball and hunting and
gardening.
Gardening,
and, yeah.
yes. Andrew has all those like outdoorsy hobbies. Okay, your sister-in-law asked, how did you convince Andrew to do this video?
I was
He does not like
convinced.
this.
No, I am not a fan. I was convinced because basically I was just told, honestly. I was told that,
He was warned like a year ago, a year and a half ago maybe.
yes, that
Right?
at 10,000 subscribers,
Yep.
I would be doing this. I didn't quite think it would come this quickly, but here we are.
Yeah.
So I agreed to it a long time ago, one of those like, oh, it'll never happen kind of things. And here we are.
Oh goodness. How do we split chores around the house? Okay, this is my second to last question, I think.
All right. I do very little of the cooking.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very little cooking. Very little meal prep. But I definitely, so other than that, any projects,
Yeah.
like building things, any outdoor projects, any indoor building projects, all that, like that's definitely my role. I also try to do as much as I can to help with laundry. And I do quite a bit of dishes because I've done a lot of dishes my entire life and I just enjoy it. So
He does a lot of, you do like any renos or any like thing that needs to be fixed. He
Yeah.
does a lot of that stuff. But as far as like simple everyday chores go, like definitely dishes and laundry.
yeah.
Like if I've
Yeah.
made the meal, Andrew will often wash all the dishes. And then often on Saturdays he'll just take over and do like 5 loads of laundry or something, which
Yeah.
I really appreciate.
So basically, I feel like if the person who makes the meal shouldn't have to clean up after it, and sometimes I give my kids a break from doing dishes.
Yeah.
That's basically how it goes.
Okay. Interested in home updates in your hopes of having a farm someday. Also, any big rental plans in your current home. So those will be our last questions, I think. How long have we been going for? Yeah, I think those are our last questions.
All right.
So, what are your hopes of having a farm someday? And then she also asked if it was both of our dreams. Like, yeah, I do want it, but like, it's this guy's dream.
Yeah. So no, that's definitely my dream. Julia has warmed up to it, kind of more, but it's definitely my gig. I like, I guess I like wide open spaces. I certainly don't like living in the city. So I intend to like have a farm, raise livestock, that sort of stuff. But also grow lots of fruits, lots of our own vegetables, grow a lot of our own food, that sort of thing. Almost like homesteading, but I don't know if I'm to the point where I'd call it homesteading as much as just farming.
Yeah.
But I've got tons and tons of goals and dreams, but I don't know. I don't even know where to start with that.
Yeah, we'll get there someday. What about at this current home? We've done a few renos, as you guys have seen some of that. What big rental plans do we have for the future?
So we moved into a house that was kind of interestingly done. I'm sure Julie's kind of explained a little bit of that. And it's just, it's been let go for quite a while, so just gonna chip away at it. There's a lot
Everything.
that needs to be done.
Like basically every single room in the house by the time we
Yeah.
leave is going to be different than when we moved in, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna redo all the trim, redo all the doors.
Redo the kitchen. That's probably the
redo
biggest
the
project,
kitchen,
I think, is
all
completely redo
both
the kitchen.
bathrooms, the laundry room.
Yeah, I haven't shown the bathrooms really on video as well. For one, you just don't really show the bathroom usually. But our bathrooms are both not very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, both bathrooms. We may, maybe not, but we may redo where our front door is.
Yeah,
that
so
would be a huge project.
Our front door is really weird. It comes out like the lower portion of the house to
The side of the house.
side. It's just
Yeah,
it's just a
I haven't shown
mess.
that
So I mean
part,
it's gonna be a big job, but I'm gonna have to tear the whole front off and put a new door on.
So lots of big rental projects.
That and like there's lots of stuff in the back, sheds, patios, a nice awning for the back patio. It's a work in progress. It's gonna take a while.
Do you want some more questions?
No, if you have anything pressing you want your fans to know, I'll do my best to answer. But
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this because you probably won't see Andrew again for a long time. He is not a fan of being in my videos. You might see him from time to time in the background, but a sit-down video, I don't know when or if that will happen again.
it took a lot to convince me to be
All
part
morning he was
part
like,
of this.
"Are you sure you want to do this? Really? Do I really have to?" Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
And don't worry, I won't be in very many.